everybody! What's going on, man? How's it shaking? Today's Sunday, all right? Hey, first off, I want to welcome some of the new subscribers that kind of like joined the channel. Hey, welcome, man. This is what it is. All right? Last time I saw you guys, we did an unboxing of Who's Next, all right? Showed you the box, opened the box, showed you the stuff, the inside, the posters, the CDs, all that crap. Threw the box away, we're good to go. And in that video, I said, hey, we're going to get back to do some metal. So today, we're going to do some metal. That's right. We're kicking it back kind of old school, all right? So the first band I want to talk about, well, actually, some of the guys in some of these bands we're going to talk about, some of them went to bigger and better things, and some of the other guys didn't. Some of these bands kind of got almost to the top of the ladder, and some of them got stuck in the middle of the ladder, and some of them kind of down on the first couple of steps of the ladder, all right? So anyway, let's kick this, man. So the first band I want to talk about, I freaking love, man. I think I got like the first 4 albums of them, and then I kind of like stopped because different members and all sorts of craziness, all right? But the first guys were originally called Hellraiser, all right? Then, around 1978, they changed their name and named themselves after a Judas Priest song, which was on Stained Class. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about Exciter. Yeah, Heavy Metal Maniac. I love this album, man. There's the back. Cool stuff. I mean, just kind of like almost the inventors of, you know, speed metal. These guys right here, 3-piece, just killer, man. You know, they sent some demos over to Mike Varney, who was in charge of Sharpnel Records back in the day. And, you know, so Sharpnel was kind of big. And then you had John and his wife, Marcia, who Zazula, who started Megaforce, who signed everybody from, you know, Overkill and Anthrax and everybody and their mother, all right? But Mike Varney at Sharpnel signed a whole bunch of cool people too, man. So he picked these guys up first and signed them, you know? And yeah, this is the first album that I still freaking love, man. All right, nothing crazy on the inside, but you see it's on the Sharpnel label. All right, pretty cool, man. Released 1983, Heavy Metal Maniac. There you go. Original vinyl. Killer. Killer, killer. I love this freaking album, man. You know, back in the day, I think I bought like this and like the first Venom. I mean, this stuff was just coming out like crazy. All this really cool stuff, man. You know, I saw them open up for Anthrax, you know, back in the club days over here, man. You know, the big clubs in my area was L'Amour's in Brooklyn. They had L'Amour's in Queens, too. But the one in Brooklyn had more metal and stuff, man. There was a couple places out in Jersey, the Soap Factory, and a bunch of other places, and then another one here in Yonkers, New York, called the Rising Sun. I mean, and everybody and their mother came through these clubs. You know, your Metallicas, your Iron Maidens. I mean, everybody came through, man. Anthrax was like a permanent fixture around here back in the day, all right? But anyway, great album, Exciter's first album, Heavy Metal Maniac. Go pick it up, all right? 1984, they released their second album, Violence and Force. Another really cool album, man. The first 2 Exciter albums are great, man. You know, by now they started, they're opening up for Anthrax, like I said. They got on tour with Merciful Fate. They did their first U.S. tour. Could you imagine Exciter and Merciful Fate together? Oh my God, what a great freaking bill. Especially Merciful Fate back in the day, the early 80s. Oof, killer. All right? Great album, man. This is another one that I dig. What's great on here? The song Violence and Force, Scream in the Night, Pounding Metal, Evil, Sinner is great. I mean, just all this stuff on here, man. Just killer. You know? Now, sound-wise, you know, they didn't... Like, when I mean sound-wise, I mean like production-wise, all right? It wasn't like Priest or Maiden. It was kind of on the noisier side with the guitars, you know, kind of more distorted-y kind of sort of, you know what I mean? And then you had just Dan's drums and vocals just on top of, you know, the guitars and the bass, man. Just 3 guys just killing it, you know? On stage, great band, man. Yeah. So, again, my original copy, all right? Show it to you. But now they switched over and they signed to Megaforce. All right, so they left Sharpnel and they went to Johnny and Marcia Zazula and went over to Megaforce. All right, you could always tell a Megaforce because it's got the silver label. basically. You know, back in the day, now it could be anybody, but back in the day, that was Megaforce, man. Great label. All right. Came with the lyrics, and the liner notes back there and stuff. Awesome, man. Just like I said, seeing these guys with Anthrax back in the day in these small clubs was amazing. Great stuff, man. All right, so then they did that. Then they ended up switching labels again. They went and recorded, I think, in London for this one. I'm not too sure. But this is Long Live the Loud. This is their third album. All right, this is pretty cool too, man. Yeah, they went to London and they switched labels again. Music for the Nations, I believe, is this record label. All right, is the back. Still ass-kicking stuff, man. Ass-kicking. Did what's his face produce this? Please hold. I think the guy... Hold on. Might be getting ahead of myself here. Yeah, so, okay. So Carl Candy, of the next band we're going to talk about, produced this. All right, Carl Candy was a drummer, and the band we're going to talk about next. Then, the producer of this worked with Motorhead. All right, this his name was Guy Medheed, something like that. Anyway, another great album. Exciter. Let's go pick it up. All right, again, original copy. They recorded this in London. They got out of the scene there. This is the inner sleeve. It's got some really cool pictures. People chilling, hanging. It's got the words. All right. There you go. Now they're on Combat. Yeah, this is Combat. The next one is different. All right. Still, good stuff, man. 3 albums in. Kicking it, man. Torn all over the place. They played with Accept, Motorhead, Megadeth. I mean, these guys were just everywhere. Everywhere and everywhere. All right. Next one up. Unveiling the Wicked. Yeah, another great one, man. This came out in 1986. My albums are flying. Right? Awesome stuff, man. Unveiling the Wicked. These when they started touring with Motorhead. And they ended up getting a new guitar player here. The other guy split, and they got Brian McPhee here. So, what's his face? John Ritchie left after those 3 albums, and they get a new guitar player. All right? Cool stuff. All right? There's a couple little things on here that I didn't dig. All right? One of them is I Hate School Rules. Like, come on. Guys are speed metal. Don't write song titles like that. All right? But other than that, the rest of the album is cool, man. Break Down the Walls, Brainstorm, Dynamite's cool, man. Shout It Out, Invasion, Waiting in the Dark is cool, man. Living Evil's a great song. Live Fast, Die Young. Mission Destroy. All right? So the only clunker for me on here is, yeah, I Hate School Rules. All right? But overall, good album. All right? My original copy, again, it's got nothing really going on here. Combat Records. Instead of the green, they did a little camouflagey. Yeah, right? So there you go with that. Awesome, man. Yeah, again, these guys were touring with everybody, man. Just getting exposure everywhere they went. But it just never got to that upper level. You know what I mean? It never got to that Metallica status. You know, they just played, and then they started going through different band members and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, so that's it with Exciter. Those 4 albums, pick them up, man. Metal Maniac, all right? Move stuff out of the way. Violence and Force, killer stuff, man. All right? Long Live the Loud, and Unveiling the Wicked. And basically, that's where I stopped after Unveiling. Like I said, just different band members, and I started buying other bands' albums and stuff like that, and it was what it was, and it is what it is. All right, these next guys, speaking of Carl Candy, these guys, American band, they formed 1980-ish, all right? The guitar player is basically known for being Dio's cousin, all right? 3-piece guys, man. You had David Rock Feinstein, guitar vocals. The original bass player, his name was Steven Starmer, all right? Then you had Carl Candy, drums, vocals. And their first album came out, and it was called like Rock Hard. And it was like, I don't know, released independently. But then they got signed to Arista Records. Arista bought the album. That bass player left, and they ended up getting their new bass player, new cover, all this sort of stuff. And this was the first album, The Rods. All right? You know, not as heavy as Exciter, but still good stuff, man. Just metal, just plain hard rock metal, kind of like in the lines of like Y&T-ish, you know what I mean? Along that line there. But yeah, good stuff, man. Rods. Yeah, this is when they got the bass player, Gary Bordenaro. Yeah, there's a mouthful for you. And there's some good stuff on here, all right? You got Power Lover was cool. Crank It Up. Running from Some Love. Music Man's all right. Let's see. Nothing's Going On in the City. Get Ready to Rock and Roll. Ace in a Hole. Rock Hard. So it's, you know, good first album, man. My original copy. All right, that's the back. I don't know if I showed it to you yet. All right. Arista label. Nothing going on there. All right. So that's the original Arista label, right? Original vinyl. I still play it. You know, I still play all this stuff. I mean, everything I show you in all these videos, I still play. Okay? So, yeah, it's the Rod's first album. All right? Pretty cool. Also, around 1981, they released an EP called Full Throttle, which I do not have. I do have another version of this. It's all remastered up. It's for the same guys that started doing the Raven reissues. All right? So they did one of the Rods, right? Same cover, same back, all right? But this just comes with a whole bunch of stuff, man. Let me pull this out. All right. First off, comes with a poster, which is basically the album cover. All right, show this to you real quick. Bada bing, there you go. Poster, album cover. And I folded it. Good job. All right, the album is this cool, I don't know, aqua, teal kind of blue thing going on. Yeah, HR Records. These guys did a bunch of stuff. I mean, a whole lot of stuff. And every album that you buy that comes from these guys, I mean, there's just a list. I don't know if you can see all the bands that they've reissued and you know, are on their label now. It's insane. Whole lot of stuff on there. All right, so yeah, so the vinyl's cool. It's like 180 grams, rocking and rolling. No extra songs, but just sounds great. All right, that goes there. Came with a couple of postcards, right? Look like they're all autographed of the band. There you go. David Rock. Okay. Then you got bass player. There's Gary. Cool shot. Then you got Carl. Now, Carl, this guy, the drummer, has done a lot of stuff, man. He's produced, like I showed you, One Exciter album. He produced this Anthrax EP back here. He produced Anthrax's Fistful of Metal. And I think the other one there, the Time one. Not Euphoria, Presence of Time, whatever. I think he produced that one too. With a bunch of other bands, man. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah, the guy kept busy. All right, again, another band I always saw local playing around the area. Rising Sun. There's the Rods, you know. Also comes with this cool book. All right, bust this out. Got some cool liner notes, pictures of the band. You guys can get all that in. All right, picture on the back. There you go. So yeah, that's Dio's cousin, Dave. All right, Carl, the drummer, and Gary, the bass player. All right, now we did roll call. Everybody's here. All right, the next album that came out was 1982. Was Wild Dogs. There we go. I love that cover. Ow! Good stuff, man. Wild Dogs. That's the back. Again, this is my original copy. Some cool stuff on here as well, man. Too Hot to Stop. Waiting for Tomorrow is a really cool song, man. Violation. Burned by Love. The title track, Wild Dogs, is cool. You Keep Me Hanging On, which is a cover song from like the 1960s that everybody and their mothers covered. You keep me hanging. I hate that damn song. I don't know. It drives me nuts. What else? Rockin' and Rollin' Again. End of the Line is cool, man. No Sweet Talk, Honey. The Night Lives to Rock. So yeah, solid stuff. All right. Again, my original copy. Still nothing fancy. Arsta label. All right, nothing fancy going on there. But yeah, the Rods, another three-piece band that just killed it on stage, man. I mean, Carl's drum set, you know, back in the day, the early 80s, I mean, everybody was into double drums and, you know, 20 rack toms and stuff like that. Awesome. Before the hair bands took over, it was cool looking, you know, and these guys actually used everything. The hairband guys, double bass drums and a gazillion drums, they didn't even use half that shit. It's a joke. But anyway, yeah, the Rods, all right? Cool stuff. 1983 comes rolling around and they release In the Raw, all right? In the Raw! I cracked myself up. I don't know why that's so funny. In the Raw! What the hell's so funny about that? I don't know. All right, there's the back. There's my stupid fingers. Again, good solid album, man. Song Hurricane. Can't Get Enough Fun. Witch's Brew. Go for Broke. Hot Love. A lot of hot stuff back in the day. You know, Hot Love, Hot City. Whatever, man. Street Fighter. Evil Woman. No, not the ELL song. What else? Hold On to Your Life. And Another Night on the Town. Another Night on the Town. All right? Again, original copy. Nothing going on here. And this is on Sharpnel, all right? Back to Varney's label. Only instead of a green, it's black. All right? Whoa. Slippery. Yeah, man, a lot of bands switched labels back in the day just for better deals, better exposure, you know, promising of getting on bigger tours. I mean, a label will do whatever to, you know, to sign you if you're kind of hot back in the day. All right? But yeah, so far, all good, solid stuff, man. The Rods, real good band. Again, they just never hit heights of like Anthrax, but they all played through all these clubs at the same damn time. All right? Another one coming up, 1984. All right? Now, a couple of things happened in the Rods in 84. First, I don't know which came out first, the chicken or the egg here, but I'll show you the Rods album first and then explain what I'm going to explain when I'm done explaining. So this one is Let Them Eat Metal. Okay, yeah, I know the cover's a little graphic, you know. I don't know if I'm supposed to censor this. There, it's censored. Yeah, okay. There you go. Let Them Eat Metal. Back still the same three guys, you know, trugging along, man, album after album. All right, some good stuff on here. It's not that bad. Let Them Eat Metal's a cool song. White Lightning, Nuclear Skies, Rock Warriors. Bad Blood, She's So Tight is cool. Got the Fire Burning, I'm a Rocker. And then the last song, She Is Such a Biatch. It's not actually spelt that way, but that's how I'm going to say it. All right, it's a family show. All right, again, original vinyl. Ooh, little ripped, the glue picture. Comes with the words. All right. The vinyl. Yeah, this is on Music of Nations. They switched labels yet again. All right. Again, it's not 180 gram. It's regular stuff, man. All right, let me throw this back in there. I mean, the album's got wear and tear on it like crazy. I mean, I've had these albums for years. All right, but yeah, again, good solid album. Did I just smack her? What's going on here? All right, so now at the same time, actually the next band I'm going to talk about, one of the bands I'm going to talk about, actually not the next one, but so Carl Candy, the drummer from the Rods and the bass player, went and did a side project with this guy here, Jack Starr. All right, if you guys know what band he's from, then you know what I'm talking about when I get to it. All right, but yeah, they played on this, and this is a good album, man. I'll talk more when we get to it. But yeah, so those two guys jumped ship a little bit and went and did solo album, Mr. Jack Starr here. Okay, but we'll get to that. Be patient. Where did this go? Where did this go? Went right there. All right. So then the Rods, they released this live album. All right, the Rods Live. Cool stuff as well. Same three guys kicking ass. All right, really cool pictures on the back. You know, and you can tell by some of the pictures they're playing, you know, some bigger places, not like your little regular club. You know what I mean? So, yeah, they got around, man. And Carl was playing with everybody. He knew it. I mean, these guys, I don't know. It's just the music just didn't catch on to the masses, I guess. You know what I mean? But good stuff on here, too, man. I Live for Rock and Roll, Hellbound, Born to Rock, The Viper, Speed Demon. Good stuff, man. Hurricane, again, Devil's Child. That's not the Judas Priest song. Rabbit Thunder, Cold Sweat and Blood. Rods Live. Again, original vinyl. And you can tell this thing is beat the shit. Sleeve. Made in Great Britain. I do that every time, right? Every time I say Made in Great Britain metal. Because it is. Right? Music for Nations. Again, same label. All right? Regular vinyl, hearing it wiggle. That's probably my stomach. That's not funny. All right. Does this album make me look fat? Oh, your fat makes you look. I'm not fat. Watch it over there. I got feelings. I'll unsubscribe you. All right. All right. The Rods. Now, aside from that, so now these guys kind of like, we're going through some turmoil. They did make another album. I don't know if it was called Hollywood, but it wasn't under the title The Rods. They just used all their last names and hired a singer. So it was like, I don't know, I think the album was called Hollywood. All right. And instead of saying The Rods, it said Candy, Feinstein, Bordenaro, and their new singer, John Claude. I can't say this guy's name to save my freaking life, all right? But, yeah, he did all the vocals on that. And the album didn't do well, and they basically broke up. And that was the end of that. I know they reunited, like, in 2008. They played some kind of metal festival out in Norway. Then they released an album in 2011 called Vengeance. Now, I don't know if it was the same guys, because after this batch that I just showed you, I was done. Excuse me. Then after 2011, the next album after Vengeance came out called The Brotherhood of Metal, which I'm sure you can still find maybe on Amazon, eBay. I mean, the stuff is still floating around out there. All right. Now, back to Carl, the drummer. Now, like I said, he's produced Anthrax, Overkill, a band called Rocks Gang, Excited, what I showed you, Possessed. He produced the next band I'm going to show you. And then another great band he produced was Hellstar. That's a great band, man. Distant Thunder by Hellstar. Killer. If you can find that CD, album, whatever, man, pick that up. Hellstar is the band's name. Distant Thunder. It's like all purple. Cool. They do a cover of the Scorpions. He's a woman, she's a man. You know that song? Killer. All right. So, Carl, like I said, knew a whole bunch of people. Combat Records gave him some money to go write some songs and put a project together with a bunch of metal people. And he did. And this was it. Thrasher, it's called. All right. He did this album with a whole bunch of like guest stars. Dan Spitz from Anthrax is on here. The bass player Kenny, who ended up playing with Billy Squire. He had Marianne Scafano, whatever, from the band Black Lace is on here. My God, a whole bunch of people. Hold on. Red Forster is on here, you know, from Riot. This is the sleeve. Who else is on here? James Rivera, Kim Simmons, Gary, like I said. Yeah, there's Marianne. Jack Starr is on here. Dickie Peterson. Kenny Arison, that's the bass player who ended up in Billy Squire. Gary Driscoll, I think he was another bass player. But yeah, whole bunch of guests on here. Some vocals, other vocalists. All right, Combat Record, like I said. And it's cool. You know, the songs are decent. If you find this and you want to pick it up. Or you can find it somewhere and you want to listen to it first before you pick it up. And I haven't heard this in a while, but when I bought it back in the day, I mean, it still got shrink wrap on it. You know what I'm saying? It's still on it. Worth checking out, all right? Carl's little side project there. I think they only made one album. I'm not sure. I know this is the only one I got. If I can get this in there. All right. Cool. All right. So far, Exciter and The Rods. Two great bands. This other band coming up from Osbornesville, New Jersey. That's right. The singer in this band is in a really big band right now. You know, after this band kind of broke up, I don't know if he went and became an electrician, I think. Don't quote me on that. And then I don't know if he sent demos to the band that he's in now or how they found him. I don't know the whole story. I'm sure someone will, after watching this video, say, hey, Augie, this is what happened, which is cool. Hey, no problem. But yeah, these guys, Osborne's, New Jersey, 1979. In 1983, like going back to John and Marsha Zazula, who started Megaforce, signed these guys, and they recorded an EP on Megaforce, take two, side album label there called, was it Avalanche? Please hold. I think it was Avalanche. Avalanche Records. It's in my hand. All right. So then they did this EP, and I think, yeah, Carl Candy from the Rods produced this EP. So there you go. You know, Carl was all over the place. And again, this is another one of those bands that I've seen hundreds of times in a small club right over here. I mean, I don't live in Yonkers, but I lived next to Yonkers in a town called New Rochelle back in the day. And they played this club, man, the Rising Sun, constantly. I think that was the last place I actually saw these guys. You know, but this is their EP, and the band is called TT Quick, man. Shrink Rap is still on this bad boy. It's kind of starting to rip, but yeah, it's still there, man. Cool, solid stuff, man. Go for the Throat is a great song, man. They do a cover of CCR, Clearance Revival, that classic rock band, Fortunate Son. Now, I'm not a big fan of that song. I never was. I think they got better songs, but it is what it is, all right? Child of Sin is a good song on here, man. Metal Man and Victims, right? So you got 4 originals and a 1 cover. But great band, man, you know? The drummer here, this guy, Glenn Evans, he basically split after this, and he went on to join the band Nuclear Assault. Yeah, he went drumming for them, Nuclear Assault. Glenn, see ya. And he ended up getting another drummer, and they did the next album. But then, you know, you still had David DiPietro, you know, the guy, really good guitar player. I think he mentored Zakk Wylde and, what's his face, from Skid Row, Snake Sabo there. I think he kind of, I don't know if he taught those guys or mentored them, took them under the wing, you know. Yeah, maybe the other wing. But yeah, so the guy's, you know, respectable guitar player, man, in this band. It was great, man. And then Mark, right here, the singer, has gone on to sing with Accept. If you didn't know that. Yeah, he's the singer in Accept now. Osborne, New Jersey, singing for Accept. Fast as a Shark. Great song. All right. Then they still had the bass player, Walt. All right. He was still in the band. And then, like I said, Glenn, split, Nuclear Assault. Original. All right. So, nothing going on there. And this was the label. All right. Just a plain label. All right. Again, my original copy, man. This thing is thin as you know what. Still, solid stuff, man. All right. I mean, I don't know how hard it is to find this anymore. I've had this forever, and thankful that I kept this stuff and didn't get rid of it. So yeah, awesome. TT Quick. If you can find this, pick it up, man. All right. That's one. So now the next one came out. Now, it's unbelievable. So this 1986 came out, and there is an array of people responsible in the making of this album. I mean, you got Eddie Kramer producing it, right? The famous Eddie Kramer, Hendrix, Zeppelin, Kiss, you name it. The Eddie Kramer. You had this guy Wagner, Robert Wagner, who's also did my God, Dokken and Great White and a whole bunch of 80s metal bands. And then you had Rob Hunter, the drummer from Raven, did a whole bunch of like production and pre-production on some of these songs as well. So there was a whole bunch of group of people involved in this, you know. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's my promotional copy. Some stuff on here is good, and some of it I'm not too crazy about. The first side kicks ass. Medal of Honor. All right, let me show us what it looks like. Yeah, there you go. Medal of Honor. And there's the back. All right. So yeah. Title track, Medal of Honor is cool, man. Front Burner is cool. Hard as Rock is cool. Child of Sin is cool. Asleep at the Wheel is cool. And then you flip it over to side 2. Come Beat the Band. All right. You're like, I don't know about that. Right. Hell to Pay is cool. Next song, Queen of the Scene. I mean, what do you think that song is about? You know, the chicks in the scene. Like, come on. All right. Glad All Over is the cover song from the 60s. You know, Glad All Over. I don't know if that's the Dave Clark 5, you know. I'm glad all over, you know. Hey, Kiss covered one of their songs too any way you want it, so don't be too mad at these. And then the Siren song is the last song on here, all right? I mean, I don't know whose idea it was to do the cover song. Who the hell knows? But other than that, side one is killer, and a couple songs on side two, you can give a take. But again, should have been, the band should have climbed higher. You know what I mean? They got the new drummer in here, Eric Ferro, who replaced the other dude. You know, he did a great job, man. I remember seeing these guys on stage, and it was just like, you know, you had Mark, who was very Bon Scottish. You know, he had like the denim vest on, and, you know, he didn't have all tattoos on, but you know, he's that Bon Scotty kind of image thing going on, you know. And they were a great band, man. They killed it on stage. Great local band. TT Quick. All right? Get a chance, check this stuff out. All right. Enough of them guys. Another band. All right? Now we're going to get to the Jack Starr band. These guys are from Long Island, New York. Jack formed the band, a guitar player. His first thing was he got the drummer, this guy Joey. Then they actually, so Jack was playing guitar, they had Joey on drums, and they had this bass player. His name was Kelly Nichols, who played with them for a while. Now, Kelly Nichols, ring any bells? You know, rub two nickels together? Yes. He's the bass player who ended up going to LA Guns. That's correct. The Kelly Nichols. Played with these guys for a while, and I don't know if he got thrown out or he left or went to LA. I don't know what the story is. All right, but he split. So they get the singer, this guy Dave DeFerris, who brought in his buddy, bass player, Joe O'Reilly. And then that became the lineup, okay? The band I'm talking about is called Virgin Steele, all right? Now, I'm going to show you the first album first, but before the first album came out, well, I don't know. I'll just show it to you all at once. This is the first album, all right? Virgin Steele. Debut album. All right, that's the back. Again, this album is kind of beat up because I've had it for so long, but it is what it is, okay? You had some cool songs on here, you know, for the time. Danger Zone, American Girl, Dead End Kids. And you guys my age, you know who the Dead End Kids are, right? The comedy, you know, hey, Satch. Why I Oughta. Yeah, you know. What else on here? Drive On Through, Still in Love with You. Children of the Storm, okay? Great song. Pictures of You, Pulverizer, Live It in Sin, and the song Virgin Steele. All right? Boys from Long Island. Again, playing locally, man. You know, these guys, and Twisted Sister was another band, you know, Long Island, that played all locally, all up and down this area, you know, constantly. All right? Show you the inside. It came with the lyrics. Still got it. All right. Came with all that. Nothing fancy with the sleeve. All right. That's the original label. Not 180 gram. Original stuff. Okay. And it's good. It's a good first album, man. It's, you know, hit or miss. Certain songs here and there, depending on what you're into. All right. But now when these guys... There's also a little mini album that came out basically around the same time, which I will show you in a minuto. All right. Yeah. So they did that. 1982. There's this as well. All right. Now, this little mini album has I Am the One, Wait for the Night, and I think in Europe it's called Cry for the Night instead of Wait for the Night. I think they just switched the word around. Go Down Fighting and Don't Say Goodbye. Okay, it's the mini album. Now, the one song on here was getting a little attention from a band out in California and a band in Seattle. Supposedly, these guys were getting fan mail from the boys in Metallica and the boys in Queensryche, who, you know, because Metallica loved the song Children of the Storm, all right? And they were like, oh, it's a great song, and it's probably Lars was writing to these guys like, hey, great song. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea. It's just something I freaking read, but who knows, you know? So, yeah, original little mini album there. Mongol Records, all right? That's the original label. And then the other side, yeah, good old print and press, messing up the press, right? Messing up the label. Oh, I don't know, the glue. It was too late to rip it off. I wasn't even about to attempt it, so This is how I bought it back in the day, and this is how it's been ever since. For decades. All right. So yeah, so Virgin Steele was another one of those bands, man, and they're still out there today. Jack Starr, the original guitar player, split after the second album I'm going to show you. But, you know, we'll go over the name and stuff in a second. So they do that. In 1983, they released their second album, Virgin Steele 2, Guardians of the Flame. Now, there is another album cover, which is basically kind of similar to this, you know, this kind of artwork. But this was the cover that I bought and I still have, okay? Guardians of the Flame. Again, good solid album. All right, some stuff is cool, you know, depending on, you know, Dave's voice. You know, he plays keyboards and stuff. And so you had Jack, who was trying to be kind of like hard rock, and then Chris was trying to be more melodic-y. So the songs kind of vary. But Don't Say Goodbye is okay. Burn the Sun is cool, man. Life of Crime. The Redeemer, cool song. Birth Through Fire is cool. Guardians of the Flame is another good song, man. Metal City, a lot of Metal Cities. Hot in the City. You know, the same song titles with all the different bands back in the day. Hella High Water, that was another, you know, popular title back in the day. Go All the Way, and A City in the Night. So yeah, this has got some good stuff as well. All right. Again, my original vinyl, old as hell. Nothing going on there. I can pull this out. Same label. All right, there's still a Mongol there. All right. Now, after this album is when Jack did that solo album that I'm going to show you again, called Out of the Darkness. All right. Let's put this back in here. It's back. All right. So Jack goes off and he does this. Jack goes off. Jack off, Jack goes off. Never mind, never mind. Get your mind out of the gutter. So Jack Starr does this album, all right? And again, it's got a whole bunch of guest stars on it. It's got Brett Forster. It's got, you know, Carl Candy playing drums. It's got Gary playing bass. I'm still laughing at that. What an idiot. What else is there's another cat on here. Gary Drizzle. He was from was he from Rainbow? Yeah. But yeah, so solid album. The only song on here that annoys the living crap out of me is the last song on the second side. Does not belong on here. It belongs on Quiet Riot's Condition Critical. That's where that song belongs. You know, let's party all night. That kind of thing. All right, that's where this last song belongs. I'll get to that in a second. But side one, Concrete Warrior is cool, man. You got False Messiah, Sorcerer, Wild in the Streets. It's okay, all right? It's not like Wasp. Can't Let You Walk Away is a cool song. Flip It Over, side 2. Chains of Love is cool. Eyes of Fire, not the Rainbow song. Then there's an instrumental, and then it goes into the song that I can't stand, which is called Let's Get Crazy Again. I mean, just that song title alone has got Kevin DuBrow written all over it. Bad song. Bad song. Does not belong on here. All right? Anyway, other than that, it's a good album, man. All right? Check it out. You can probably find it cheap somewhere. Probably like $10 at your local record store used, all right? Music for Nations label. And it's cool. I mean, I still listen to it. I skip over the last song, but I'll still listen to it. So, another story. So now Jack went solo, all right? He's done a bunch of solo albums. He's done metal albums, rock albums. He's had a blues project. So, you know, the guy was active. He did a whole bunch of stuff. So, Virgin Steele, the band, is still out there, all right, with the singer. So, the singer and the guys tried to sue Jack for the name. Jack won the lawsuit, got the name Virgin Steele, and then sold it back to Dave, the singer, who uses the name to this day. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of Virgin Steele albums. This is where I started and stopped. That was the end of it with those guys. Yeah. End of story. Virgin Steele. But they're still out touring, man. Chris, Dave, I don't know why I keep calling him Chris, but his name is Dave. he's still out there, man. Like I said, they got a whole bunch of albums. You should go check them out and see what you think. All right? So, yeah, that's it with those guys. Virgin Steele. Good band. Next band coming up. Another band I've seen a few times, man. Rising Sun. The last time I saw these guys was in Nyack, New York at a club called Manhattan's, which is long gone. Long gone. I saw UFO there, too, when they were on their Misdemeanor tour at this small little club. I saw White Wolf there, a bunch of bands. Raven, I saw Raven there. Oh, my God. They tore the place apart. But, yeah, so this next band we're going to talk about, the bass player went on to huge, incredible things, all right? They're originally from Buffalo, New York. They started out as a power trio, 3 guys. All 3 guys sang. You had David Costantino on guitar, Paul Vega on drums, and Mr. Billy Sheehan on bass. That's right. Talking about the band Talis. Talis. Come on, man. Love that band. You know, everything that they did up to a certain point, you know. And then they just fizzled right out. Just, you're killing me. But yeah, they were great. They were great live when I saw them. Billy, animal, man. Bass player. I mean, him on stage, he had this huge rig. I don't mean amp. It was just like preamps and sound effects and stuff. During his bass solo, he's walking over there and playing with knobs, you know, like Jimmy Page and Richie Blackmore, you know, messing around, coming out with all these weird sounds, you know. It's like, holy crap, you know. Great bass player, man. But, yeah, so these guys started out in Buffalo, New York. They started getting, like, cult status around, like, the northeast side of the states here up into, like, Canada, you know, and they playing everywhere, man. Just great. Killing me, man. But, yeah, so 1979, they started doing stuff, and then they come out with the first Talis album. It's not this one, it's this one. Bam! Talis! All right? Again, the album is beat the crap, but it's still in one piece. All right? There's the gatefold. There's Billy Sheehan right there. Talis, man. Here's the back of the album. Cool stuff on this. The song Seesaw, which was kind of like a little minor hit. Stop in the Name of Love, the Supreme song. Song Most People, She Don't Know, Another Day, My Little Girl, Thick Head, You, Expert on Me. Baby, it sure looks great. Good solid album, man. For 3 guys just doing their thing. Power trio. This first Talis album is pretty good. All right. I feel a sneeze coming on. I want to let it come out. Show you what the vinyl looks like. Looks like that. Talis. All right. They released this independently. All right. You know, by now, Billy started writing like Shy Boy and Addicted to That Rush, which went on to, you know, Mr. Big. David Lee Roth covered Shy Boy, which I liked it. I liked the Talis version better. The live and the studio version. But yeah, this is a good, solid album, man. You should go check it out. All right. Now, Billy in the late 70s also played with this drummer, what the hell is his name? Ron Rocco. All right. Might not be ringing any bells, but Ron Rocco was in a band with Lou Gramm from Foreigner back in the day. Because Lou Gramm was from upstate New York as well. He was his band was called Black Sheep, I believe. So, you know, the intertwining of things. You know, Billy was playing with the drummer from Lou Gramm, went out to Foreigner. I mean, just craziness, right? All right. So now we get into Talis. Sink your teeth into this. This is to me, it's better than the first album, but the first album is still cool. But this one, man, you started to feel, you know, they were getting better, man. You know, same 3 guys, but you got the song Sink Your Teeth Into This. That's a great song, man. Hit and Run is cool. Then you got Billy's bass solo. High Speed on Ice. Great song, man. Shy Boy, another great song. King of the World, I freaking love that song, man. Outside Looking In is cool, man. Never See Me Cry, Smart Lady, which is all right. And then Hicktown, yeah. But the the rest of the album is solid, all right? That's the back. All right. Yeah, Talis opened up for UFO which is how Billy ended up playing in UFO for a little bit back in 1983. 1980, these guys played with Van Halen. They played like 30 shows with Van Halen, which I guess is how Billy introduced, his introduction with David Lee Roth, because he went to go play with Billy. Yeah, I mean with Dave, as we all know. Yeah, so they did all that, and still, we got. So this is the inside of the album. Right, it comes with the words, liner notes. All right, so they kind of, well, this is on this label here, Relatively Records. All right, they was which we got reissued by Metal Blade later on. Yeah, so it was independently released on Even Fall Records. Man, just a whole bunch of stuff, man. Between the first album, this album, switching labels and trying to tour and poor management and everything else. But this album took them to, a little bit, another step up the ladder, per se. You know what I mean? Like I said, they did the dates with Van Halen. So then after all of that band kind of poofed. And then Billy did a regrouping and got different guys in the band. He got Phil Naro on vocals, Mitch Perry on guitar, and I think Mark Miller was the guy's name? On drums, yeah. And this was basically the band that I saw. I saw this lineup once, but then the last band I saw was this one. And this is live High Speed on Ice. All right, so it's got some live stuff. Awesome. All right, then basically after this album, Mitch left. He went to go join Heaven, the Australian band. He went to go join them. And then, the band just kind of like fizzled out after that. They ended up getting another guitar player, this guy Johnny Angel. And then after that, it just kind of fizzled out. They recorded some demos, I think for an album that was going to be called Lights, Camera, Action. But that never saw the light of day. And then Billy went to go join David Lee Roth. And that was it. Then on to Mr. Big and all his other side. I mean, Billy has done a million things. All right? But this last album is great, man. Phil Naro, awesome vocalist. Where's the... all right. There you go. I'm like, which end is up? This is the end that's up. All right, comes with some cool pictures. Combat label, all right. Nice Talis right there, pretty cool. Okie doke. Good stuff on here, man. This was a good solid band. And this was the last time I saw them. I actually, the night that I saw them at that club called Manhattan's in Nyack, New York. So, after the show, these clubs, they didn't kick you right out. It wasn't 2,000 people in these clubs. They were small and intimate, man. You're resting up on the stage like this. I mean, I was right up in front with a couple of my buddies, man. I was freaking headbanging all day, man. Freaking back in the long hair days. And I'll never forget the singer, Phil. He was drinking a Bud Light or Budweiser. He had a Bud in his hand, right? And he's drinking his beer, and he's like, hey, man, who needs a beer? And I'm just standing like this sopping wet and just looking up at him. He goes, here, man, I think you need this. And he hands me the can of beer, which I had for years, all right? The empty can. Why I had that for years, because after the show, and I still got this beer can in my hand, I'm going to throw this out. Oh, my God, The guys came, from backstage, and they hung out at the bar. And we all hung out together, and I'm like, hey, man, before we split, can I get your autographs? So Phil signed it, this is for you. This Bud is for you. And that's why I kept the beer can. And I also got Billy's autograph, both of those guys that night. And I will show it to you right now. Now, it's in a plastic little case here, so I hope you can see it. It says, Augie, this Bud's for you. Phil Naro, Talis, and then Talis, Billy Sheehan, Talis. All right, so it's old. All right, so I hope you guys can see this. I hope the glare isn't too bad. So Phil Naro is up here. This Bud's for you. And then Billy's down there. And basically I just found a picture of Billy and just cut it out and put it there. But yeah, I still have this. This is old. Old. All right? Man. All right, so now the last band I want to talk about, I don't know. I was going through my albums and I came across it. I'm like, you know what? It kind of fits into this, but not really, but it kind of does. All right. So these last guys, they're from Brooklyn, New York. I don't know if they made any other albums, but obviously they made this one. They got together in the summer of 1979 in Brooklyn, all right? Disco was huge in Brooklyn. The whole Saturday Night Fever thing, the Bee Gees, because they filmed Saturday Night Fever and it took place in Brooklyn, disco was huge in 79, all right? So Brooklyn 79, you know, Riot, and these guys were kind of out and about a little bit. The band was formed by two brothers. The original bass player played on the first album, all right? But then when he left, they got the new bass player in and re-recorded a whole bunch of stuff, and whatever songs the bass player wrote on that first one, they threw those away and wrote new stuff and came out with this. This was released in 1982 and actually won an MTV Music Award for Best Metal Video, if you can imagine, for a cover song called American Band, the Grand Funk song. They did a cover song of the Grand Funk song, We're an American Band, and they won an MTV Award for Best Metal Video on July 4th, 1983. And you want to know who accepted it in their behalf and did the whole speech, you know, was none other than Lindsey Buckingham from Fleetwood Mac. That's right. Can you see Lindsey Buckingham up on stage? Oh, and now for the best metal video of 1983 goes to... Oh, and on their behalf, I accept this award on their behalf. Lindsey Buckingham of Fleetwood Mac. Funny shit, all right? So the band I'm talking about is called Americade. There you go, man. American metal, still in original shrink wrap. All right, there you go. You got the two brothers up top, all right? You got the drummer, Walt, and some of you guys may recognize this cat, right? You see his name? Yeah, his brother was a guitar player in Anthrax, all right? Dave Spitz, all right? You had Walt Woodward III on drums, who went on to play with The Scream, John Corabi, all right? There's Walt there, there's Corabi down there, all right? If you do not have this, you should pick this up. Maybe not on vinyl, but pick up the CD, whatever. This is a great friggin' album, man. With Corabi, great stuff. Highly recommend this. But anyway, all right, so you got the two brothers here. Now, I'm going to crucify their last names, you know? PJ and Gerald D... D... Marrade, I can't pronounce this fucking shit, all right? There's the last name, all right? There you go. Yeah, so let me bust this out, talk about this a little bit, all right? So this is the inner sleeve. Marrade. Now, I never saw these guys live, but I do remember seeing the video. You can probably find it on YouTube, all right? Bust this out. All right, that's the label, kind of cool. Americade, they went the whole American thing going on there. Now, I put this on again the other day because I haven't heard it in a while, all right? Because I had so much stuff here, man. I complained about these bookcase things a while ago, and I have other stuff sitting on top where there's albums sitting in it. And the problem is, I mean, I know basically what's behind all this stuff, but because they're all squished in, you know, this way, you kind of forget what's in there. Like, you can't flip through like you go to a record store, you know? And you forget what's in your inventory after a while, you know? You're like, oh, you know. But, I mean, I know where my hairband stuff is. I know where my thrash stuff is. I know where my regular metal is, you know, my Priest, my Sabbath. I know where all that stuff is. But when it comes to other random stuff like this, like a one-off kind of thing, if I don't go flipping through and pull out a handful of albums to flip through the rest, you forget the shit's even in there. But anyway, so yeah, listening to this, it's not the best production. The drums sound really paper thin. Some of the songs, I mean, I don't know, man. listen to it for yourself and see what you think. Yeah, I think it just lacks in production, and I know that the brothers produce it themselves, so they probably, I don't know what their, you know, money budget was to record this, you know, but if they would have had like a better producer, I think some of the things would have been rearranged a little bit better, and the sound quality would have been better than just, it's just very, very flat. All right. But yeah, I guess it's worth checking out if you want. All right. Marrade, American Metal. So there you have it, man. That's the end of this video. Showed you the autograph. Some cool bands, man, you want to check out. You know, you got Exciter, the Rods, two great bands that I freaking love. TT Quick, Talis. And if you want to check this out, you know, check out the Scream as well, man. Great stuff right there. All right, so that's it. We did some metal, some bands that I don't know if a lot of people talk about, whatever. I just did. All right, so that's it, man. Go pick up some of this stuff. Go check it out, all right? Let me know what you think about some of these bands. Until next time, hey, take care of one another. Watch out for each other out there. It's a crazy world, all right? As you know, man, you watch the news today, there's a lot of shit going on over there on the other side of the world. I want no part of it. All right? So, hey, be good, man. Another work week coming up, all right? So, peace out, Buttercup. I'll see you soon.